The night burned with history inside Wembley Stadium. 90,000 fans, their roars shaking the steel and sky. Two generations stood across the ring, staring through time itself. Anthony Joshua, the new hope of British boxing, undefeated and unstoppable, walked in draped in confidence, his body carved by discipline, his heart beating for destiny. Across from him, the legend, Wladimir Klitschko, Dr. Steelhammer, the professor of heavyweight warfare, the man who ruled a decade of dominance. 41 years of experience, focus, and wisdom now faced the fury of youth. The lights dimmed. The air froze. Every heartbeat echoed louder than drums. Joshua bounced on his toes, eyes locked, a storm waiting to explode. Klitschko stood still, like a machine of iron calm. The bell rang, and the world held its breath. The first round was not a brawl, but a test of souls. Klitschko's jab sliced through the air, Joshua's defense tight, both men studying, thinking, calculating. They moved like chess players in a hurricane, feints, jabs, and patience. The crowd murmured with tension. Joshua's eyes never left the target. Klitschko's experience whispered in every movement. This was not just a fight. It was a passing of time, the youth of today against the might of yesterday. Both men knew one would rise and one would fall. The question was, when? The first few rounds built like a silent volcano, rumbling, tightening, preparing to burst. Then came the fifth. Anthony Joshua, sensing the rhythm, moved with a new kind of confidence. His punches snapped faster, his shoulders rolled with power. The young lion began his charge. A sharp right, then a left hook crashed through Klitschko's guard, and the legend was dropped to the canvas. The crowd detonated. Wembley shook like thunder. Joshua roared, his gloves raised high, eyes blazing with youthful triumph. Klitschko, calm even in chaos, took the count, rose to his feet, and nodded. The old warrior wasn't finished yet. But in Joshua's rush to end it, he overreached, hungry for the kill. Klitschko, with the calm of experience, slipped and fired back. His right hand cracked through Joshua's chin, and suddenly the storm reversed. The young champion was hurt. He staggered back, stunned, unsure, the crowd gasping. The old master had survived the hurricane, and now controlled it. Klitschko pressed forward behind his jab, measuring, punishing. Joshua's breathing grew heavy. His pace slowed. The power that had overwhelmed every opponent before now met resistance. The fifth round became chaos, youth and age trading fire, pride against legacy, thunder answering thunder. The fight had changed. It was no longer a story of domination. It was now a war for survival. Then came round 6, a round that would echo through heavyweight history. Klitschko, reborn, began with ice in his eyes and venom in his fists. Joshua, still recovering from his reckless assault, moved too slow, too open. Klitschko waited, then struck with perfect timing. A clean, brutal right hand smashed into Joshua's jaw, and the giant fell. The young lion was down for the first time in his career. The stadium gasped as if the air had been punched out of it. Joshua blinked, his eyes glassy, his legs heavy. The referee's count echoed like a drum of destiny. 6, 7, 8. Joshua rose. He was alive, but barely. Klitschko, smelling blood, hunted. His jab was a spear, his right hand a hammer, his movement sharp, despite his age. Every second stretched into eternity. The young champion looked lost, breathing through pain, holding, weaving, desperate to survive. Klitschko dominated, landing at will, painting the canvas with experience and patience. The old lion roared again, reclaiming his kingdom, forcing Joshua to walk through hell. And yet, through the smoke, Joshua refused to break. His spirit flickered, but did not die. As the bell ended round 6, Joshua stumbled to his corner, his chest heaving, his eyes wild, but deep inside, a spark still burned. A legend had knocked him down, but not out. The middle rounds tested every ounce of will. Both men exhausted, both drenched in sweat, both fighting ghosts of fatigue. Klitschko's jab kept stabbing, sharp and steady, his rhythm controlling the pace. Joshua's breathing steadied, his body recovering, his mind regaining control. The crowd sensed it. The young champion wasn't done. He began to press forward again, using that explosive athleticism, his jab thudding heavier, his hooks finding home. Klitschko answered with counters, smart and sharp, but the momentum was shifting. Every round became a test of heart. Joshua's youth met Klitschko's wisdom in the center of the ring, neither willing to yield. The 10th round was brutal, both men digging deep, swinging with the last of their strength. Joshua, still behind on the scorecards, needed a miracle. His face swollen, his arms heavy, yet his heart burned brighter with each breath. Across from him, Klitschko's experience shone through. He looked composed, even elegant in the chaos, his punches mechanical, relentless. But there was something unspoken in Joshua's eyes, something desperate and divine. His corner shouted, "Stay calm, believe," and the young lion nodded. The stage was set for the 11th, a round that would decide not just a fight, but a future. The crowd rose, sensing that destiny was on its way. The storm was about to return. Round 11. Both men entered as survivors, but only one would leave a champion. Joshua stepped forward, renewed, eyes burning with purpose. Then came the punch. A monstrous uppercut ripped through Klitschko's chin. A shot from the heavens, clean, brutal, unforgettable. Klitschko's head snapped back, his body twisted, and the legend dropped to the canvas. Wembley exploded. The world screamed. Joshua, fueled by pure adrenaline, pounced again. Klitschko rose, unbroken but wounded. Joshua unleashed another barrage. Right hand, left hook, the power of youth crashing against time itself. The old warrior fell again. He stood once more, staggering, refusing to surrender. But the storm would not stop. Joshua's fists poured like rain, relentless, merciless. The referee stepped in. It was over. The bell never came. At 2 minutes, 25 seconds of the 11th round, the crown changed hands. The torch passed before the eyes of the world. Anthony Joshua fell to his knees, exhausted, tears in his roar. Across the ring, Klitschko stood proud in defeat, his face etched with respect. Two eras collided. One ended, another began. Joshua lifted his belts under the blinding lights, his gloves trembling with victory. Wembley roared as the young lion became king. That night was not just about power. It was about legacy, courage, and the timeless war between youth and age. The heavyweight throne had found its new ruler, and his name was Anthony Joshua.